Hello everyone, this is Drew from Best of Us Investors working with Mark on the Platinum Trading platform. As you may know, if you have been a subscriber on the channel for some time now, Mark, who has been successfully investing for over 40 years and warned us to get out of the market in 2021 November when the market was at its peak, is now helping our subscribers on swing trades, analyzing more than 1,000 companies each week based on 10 indicators and sharing the tickers of the stocks that are set up for good uptrends every day, along with weekly Zoom calls for Q&As with the members. So if you may be interested in our service, please make sure you check the link in the description below. So today I wanted to share on how Mark actually finds stocks with great upside potentials to swing trade. It takes several steps for Mark to get to his final primary watch list, but we also share the Horizon and under the 200 SMA list, which is also a great resource with a number of stocks for swing trading for those that are willing to take more risk. So with that, let's see the process on how Mark finds his stocks to share with the Platinum members for swing trading.
Horizon, again, these stocks are not fully met our criteria for swing trading, but they're setting up for potential swing trades. And a lot of times these guys, they'll go right into a watch list situation. I just leave them on here. And you can see on this particular list this morning when I updated it, all of these are pretty much above all the criteria that I'm looking at. You can see even by the results, we were up this morning at a market open about $42 per share in aggregate. So it's come down a little bit with the market. But Illinois Toolworks, Gartner, Berkshire, Teradyne, Tesla, and DNA made the list. And normally what I'll do is, and we'll look at the 200-day list too, the under the 200. I have several lists that I look at, and I start out with the dumpster fire list. And those are the stocks that have dumped. Okay. But those are the ones we like to look at because those are the ones we're looking to find the swing back up. They have the most potential, but they're the highest risk. And then if they make it through that and get above the 9 and make through some of our guideline criteria, they'll go under the 200-day list. And a lot of people don't like to swing trade up on a 200-day, anything under the 200, but it can be quite profitable. But the 200 is also very risky. And then if they can get through the 200, get on the Horizon list, or they can go straight to the watch list. So I have 4 tiers that I watch. Stocks move through, up and down. And that's how I keep track of where we're going to be in the future and where we are today. And when the markets were all going down, which is like August, it was hard to find anything to put on a watch list, which is why we only had 11 stocks, because everything was on the dumpster list. But as the markets start going up, you'll start seeing those stocks move from the dumpster list over to the right side of my ledger, which is the under 200, the Horizon, and the watch list. And let's take a look at some of the stocks that we have in here. Here's Illinois Toolworks, and here's where it came on the watch list. You can see right about here, it started to cross over the MACD in this area. We also had a crossover and a positive on the stochastic, and we were a little bit below on the RSI. This is why it was on the Horizons list and not the watch list, because it really didn't meet the criteria yet being on a watch list. So the next day we popped up. Okay, we were right on the 20 and we closed above the 20. We also saw hit down here. We finally crossed over the MACD just barely. And again, we have just a small little crossover, but we've come up here. We crossed the 50, and you can see what happened. We smacked right into this resistance level. These resistance levels, this intermediate one that I use is a staunch resistance level. And if you can get past that, that's saying something. But the Bollinger Band's coming down. We do have a nice rolling up of the 9. But until we get past this, if I were in this trade, I probably would have gotten out as soon as it hit close to the resistance line, taking my profit from 240.57 to 248.54. So $4 on that one. Here's what we were looking for. This stock was on the dumpster list as it was dumping. And then we went sideways. And then we started seeing, the 9 caught up. We got above basically the 9 on our price action. And that's where we put it on the list, and it came up. Now I'm seeing this rollover, which you can see because we're going sideways. We're seeing a flat RSI. This would be one that if I were trading it, I would have been out at this line right here.
As we just saw, Mark shares a Horizon list every Monday morning that are stocks that have been selected out of over 1,000 companies Mark analyzes and meets the 8 to 9 indicators out of the 10 indicators that he focuses on. And then once the 1 or 2 indicators that were missing are met, the stock on the Horizon list would be moved to the primary watch list. Now, although the stocks on the Horizon list may have more risk than the stocks listed on our major watch list, you also have the opportunity to grab a stock at a lower price when it is in the process of turning from a downtrend to an uptrend, being able to preserve more gains. However, the decision would be made based on the individual's risk tolerance level. So with that, let's take a look at the under the 200 SMA list for this week.
I started seeing this morning as I was going through these, and I get up between 4 and 5 and I update these. RSI below 50, RSI below 50, RSI below 50, RSI, and that just flags me, okay? And then you start seeing close below the 9, close below the 9, and a stochastic rollover. And those are the kind of things when I start seeing all these things line up, where you might want to, if you were in something like this, you might want to get out. So that's why I put a kind of a warning this morning on the Stock Watch list blog that we have, that you may want to look, at getting out of these. These are a little more risky. Okay, so we put it on the list right about in this area, 6604-ish area right here. And the reason was, again, we're getting a crossover of the MACD. And a lot of times you may want to wait a little bit to get a little bit better. But since this is the below the 200 list, once I get above the 9, I watch it, and I usually won't put it on the list till I get a crossover the MACD. We already had one of the stochastic. Our RSI has finally made it over today, the 50 level. So again, IFF is still kind of climbing up. We've got a screaming down basic upper Bollinger Band and a screaming up lower Bollinger Band. Look where, here again is earnings. So get out here. Earnings came, boom, dumpster. So here it came, and finally, the 9 came down. But with all this volatility right here, that's what made this thing go like this. So now we're back up. We're starting to head more flat, and that's why that's zooming down as fast as it is right now. We still have a nice upward rolling 9. We have a rolling turned around 20. We're still below the 200. We're below the 50. On the upside, this upper Bollinger Band is probably going to give us a little bit of trouble, and the 50 for sure is going to give us a little bit of trouble. But again, watching this rollover, I'm seeing a lot of these rollovers. At this point, if I would have got in 6604, today we're at 7110. I would take that before a weekend looking at this. And again, you can't worry about what you might leave on the table. But again, this one doesn't look too bad yet, other than right here. But I am seeing, on the MACD, this is kind of what we want to see. We want to see this step up histogram showing that the MACD is separating a little from the signal line.
As we just saw, the stocks under the 200 SMA list are risky as well. However, in several cases, the stocks do rise up to the 200 SMA before they get rejected, so traders with high level of risk tolerance may be able to preserve gains through that momentum where the stock is rising to the 200 SMA. Now again, this is not financial advice, and all we are doing is sharing Mark's research and chart analysis, hoping it can provide better insights for our members when swing trading so that they can make better decisions with their own trades. So with that, if you are interested in these swing trade updates, daily ticker suggestions, educational content, and live Q&A with Mark on a weekly basis, make sure you join our Platinum member in the description below so that we can make it through this tough market together. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on our Zoom meeting.